everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Isabelle from Label Nursery. I hope you are doing well. First I want to wish you a happy new year, happy reborning new year. I'm very sorry to not have put this video sooner. A lot of things happened that I couldn't paint. First I have injury to my arm. I knocked my elbow and I couldn't hold anything for about a week. So I couldn't do my flesh tone, my skin tone on the kit. After that, Christmas happens, so I was very busy, and then now it's gastro that is in my family. My son is very sick, and I'm sure we will all be sick soon. So I wanted to finish it before I can't no longer paint anymore again. So this will be the final video. It may be a bit longer than usual. I will see what I can do to shorten it a bit. Last time we have made the crease, previously the mottling, and before that the veining, blue undertones. Since I showed you how to make the washes for the skin tone at the very beginning, I figured that you were able to do it by yourself. I also told you that I would pick different color for my two kit. So that's what I did. As you can see, they are a bit different in color. This one I use, I think it was a pyro red. I think I use a pyro red with this one, with cobalt blue and the acrylic yellow. And for this one I use cadmium red. I use primary cyan, primary blue, and I used primary yellow for the washes. I did not use exactly the same dilution for each color. So this one, the blue, was a bit stronger than for this one, so I needed to correct the blue with a bit more yellow and red. This one, my red was stronger, so I needed to add a bit more blue to correct it. You see what I mean? When it happens, you just have to stop and to look at your kit, and if you see that it's turning a bit too red or blue or yellow to your taste, just use color wheel to see the color opposite on the wheel, and then you can do a wash with it. I want to show you just quick. So see, if your kit is too red, you go on the other side to see which color is the opposite, and you can see the opposite of red is green. So you have two choices. You can go ahead and use a layer of blue wash, then a layer of yellow wash to try to correct the red. Or if you don't want it to be darker than what you meant to do, you can totally make a green wash and use it to correct the color. Same thing if your kit is too yellow, too orange or too yellow, you go and see that it's blue or violet blue, that is the opposite color, so you can do a blue wash or a purple wash to correct the kit. But you need to be careful and look at your kit after the paint is has dried to the touch, and look it in various lighting to see if the tone is okay to you, so you can correct it fast enough. So this one is a little bit more on the yellow-brown side, and this one is more pinkish. That's the difference those colors will make. It's not super obvious, so depending on which blue, which red you use, you will find some little difference like that. Nothing too obvious, but it can give more possibilities in creating your babies. And you can totally have fun with it and play around with the colors. You can use different red and blue and yellow for the same kit also. It will give you some different skin tone. So yes, for now I'm done with the skin tone. I'm happy with it. It looks a bit like my own skin tone. I will not go darker. You could just adding more washes. I made about 3 rounds of washes, 4 in total with the first round at the very beginning. So about 3 rounds of blue, yellow and red. I think I've done 2 more blue on this one. I've done less yellow on this one. The other one I did make only 1 blue wash and a bit more red and yellow. So you will play with that until you get the skin tone that you are happy with. Now we are at the end, so we will do the blushing and the final details. Some people do the blushing first round of blushing when they do all the undertones. You can do it this way if you wish to. I prefer to do it at the end, just so I have a better idea or on the areas I want to be more red. And sometimes your kit turn out to be more red than you want, and then with the added blush it's too red, so I prefer do it at the end. I have to give you an example of what I mean with the blushing and the final detail. I'm finished with this one. I have already varnished this kit. So what I did, as you can see the difference it gives. I gave it blushing on the cheek, elbow, nose and eyebrows. I gave it blushing on the ears and also on the ends and feet. I also did a bit of purple on the eyelid to give some more, how to say it in English, translucence, transparency. There's a lot of minuscule vein and capillaries on the eyelid, a lot of blood circulation, and the skin is very, very thin, so it feels more realistic to add a little bit of purple. I also added more darker crease at some place, especially between the fingers and around the nose and eyes. And I have added some color on the lips also. There's not much more that I did on this kit. As you can see with the difference, I did the limbs, I will show you, I did the limbs on the open eye kit that I have, and I didn't with this one, so you can see the difference. I didn't do the blushing, but I did the darker crease. For the blush, you have several options. For this one, I never remember the name, Leandre. For Leandre, I use a premix color from Reborning. The blush is a bit pink. I don't use it very often, but sometimes I like to make things a bit different. That's this one, the rosy blush. Can totally use a premix color if you wish to, if you have the budget to buy some premix color. You have this one that is a bit more orange, and you have the one that I will use that I like a lot. This one, it's called Baby Lip Blush and Nails. I use this color for a lot of things. It may seem a bit purple, but it's really a dark red, like a blood red. That's the one I prefer, but I can make one also with my my golden paint. For the crease, I use also a premix color from Reborning. It's a very dark purple. I use also the same color for the eyelid. It's a BB eyelid purple from Reborning. But you can totally make one purple like that with blue and red, or you can also use your crease color that you have already. That's totally fine too. So we'll begin with the blush when I find my brush. My table is a bit messy because I have finished my kit just yesterday. I didn't have a lot of time to clean after, so sorry for that. So for the blush, I will use my cadmium red. It's the one that I use the most from all my red. So I just put a little bit. I put too much, but it's not liquid anymore. Put a little bit of paint, and I will use my cobalt blue to see. I'm not sure which blue will make the better color. So I have a very red purple, then I will add a bit of brown in the mix. This bottle always paint stuck to it. And I will mix my brown to it until I get something that looks like blood. I think that's good. I will add a little bit of medium, not too much, just a little bit. I will pour it aside and use my paintbrush to add my bottle. So just a little brush of medium, a few drops of water. can add a bit more because it's not a premix color this time. I'm so used with the premix one. It's not as pigmented. And I will add my drying time extender, retarder, try to add enough. I don't want it to dry too fast. Now I want to test it, preferably on a test part. You can use the neck flange if you want to, but I prefer to use a test part just to see if the color is nice and if the paint doesn't dry too fast. If I use it on my test piece here, I will put a little bit, then use a sponge. I can see that it's very pigmented, that I want something like that. You can totally use a wet sponge for that also. Will help a little bit. So I begin with the cheeks. Placement is up to you. I like to go just a bit under the big part of the cheek. I just put a little bit of paint and I tap on it with the sponge very well. I do not want to rub. Don't rub it, just push on that with the sponge. And I like this technique because it let the red appears a little bit like capillaries. I add under the chin, on the neck a little bit. You can do all around the neck if you wish, especially if it does not have a lot of paint around. If you have forgot to put some paint, you can do a little bit behind the head also. Do a bit on the cheek, a little bit under. You remember we have put yellow on top of the chin, so I will put my red just under. You can put around the mouth if you wish. I don't really like to put red there, but some people like that. And I put it under the nose and around the nostril. Be sure to not let line dry. Be sure to blend the blushing very well. Put some on the eyebrows, just a tad bit under the yellow that I have put there. And if you wish to have a very newborn look, you can put some on the forehead, like how do you say it? Start bite, something like that. You know, when babies are born, often they have some red mark on the forehead. You can put some there if you want. You can also go and around the blue that you have put with the undertone. You can put some around there. It's not a necessity if you're going to put hair on your kit. And if you find that your blush is not dark enough to your taste, wait before you add more. You must allow it to dry completely. If it's not dry enough, what will happen if you are going to add more, and with the sponge you will remove all of the blushing you did before, and it will leave a circle without paint. And it's very hard to correct because around the circle the paint is dry, and you add more blush to correct the circle and then add more to the paint already there, and it will be bigger and bigger, and it will be very hard to correct. So be very careful with that. It's one of the way that we mess up the kit at the end, because we do not wait enough. Sometimes there's too much water in our mix too, and it's not dry when we apply more and we remove the paint. So take your time with that. I will do around the ear on the lobe. I try to not put inside the lobe, just around. Don't forget behind. And you can, with what is already on your sponge, you can just do a little bit on top here. I was searching the name cartilage, I think it's called. In Quebec, we call it le croquant d'oreille. So that's it for the face for now. I will came back to it just a little bit later. I will do also this one. I didn't do the blushing yesterday, I just did the limb with the crease. I wanted to show you on the open eye kit. So I do the same thing, put some red on the cheek, not too much, not everywhere. You can go ahead and do it all over the nose bridge if you want to. Be careful with the blushing. You don't want to go over all the blue you have put in the beginning. If you are not careful and put too much red everywhere, your baby's face will just look red, and you will lose all the depth and the definition we gave it with the undertones. And we go under the chin and on the neck. On the nose. No need to be very precise with your paintbrush. You will be able to put the red where you want with only the sponge. This one doesn't really have eyebrows, so I may just add a bit of red around the face, like what I did for the other one. Let me add a little bit on the eyelid there. This one is very particular. Not sure if it's an Asian baby. This one, it's Skaya. I'm not sure. I think it's a Asian baby. Not sure. And on the ear lobe, I have seen a lot of reborn with blush like makeup done very obviously with not really a lot of care or lot of care on the placement. I see around red cheek, it doesn't look good. You must be careful with it the same way you have been careful with all the other part of the reborning. You have to think where you should put the red. If you are not sure, you have doubt, can look at picture of babies that maybe give you some insight. This one I think I will put just a bit under the lips here. And each kit is very different, so each kit will have some particularities. At some place you may have put blush and some other you did not, because does not call for it. Finger, I will only do this, and I will do one end on this kit and one end on Skaya, because Skaya has a fist, so I will show you for both. You can use a smaller paintbrush if you want to. You can go directly with the sponge also. I put on the finger just the tip of the finger and go around like that. I may bring you closer. Then just tap a little bit with the sponge, and the other side of the finger just on top of the nail. You can go over the nail if you want to. I prefer not to, if it's possible. Sometimes you don't really have a choice and it's hard to go around, but you can try your best. So just on the tip, do not forget the side. And if you are left with paint in between, take a dry brush and remove it. Try to stay under the camera. If you can reach with the sponge, you can go with the dry paintbrush. It will do the same. Just place the red where you want it. Remove any excess. It's very important to not miss the side of the finger. And don't take too long, because the paint will dry. I think you understand a little bit more how fast acrylic dries. If you have put red where you didn't want to, just remove it with a wet sponge before it dries completely. And I will put red on the palm, just outside the palm. This part there's no need to add a lot either. Do not necessarily want a red end. If you wish, you can put some around the wrist. Sometimes I do it only for the very fresh newborn looking kit. This one is not really, but I just want to show you. On the knuckles, and the knuckles on the finger. I try to be careful. Often when I do a tutorial, I don't see well enough what I'm doing because I try too much to stay under the camera, so it's harder. The elbow, you can try to do a bigger area, not just a round on top, but try to blend it with the rest of the paint. You can put some under the arm. I like to put a little bit in the corner of the elbow. When you have an arm like that where there are more fat rolls, you can put some red around the fat roll. You can see I just use the sponge to add around the elbow. The knuckle. And the finger, naturally you can't blush under the finger, but you can look on the side and on top, just above the nail. If you have trouble with your sponge, take a dry brush and just spread the red around. And the side, the palm, it's like that. It's about the same. Just go and blush your toes, the chunky part. Don't forget to go on the side of the toe. It's very, very important. And remove any excess paint that stay between. And go around the toe and do over above the nail. Next I do under, all around the chunky part of the, the foot. I don't know if there is a word for that part. It's not really the sole, because the sole is this part, just around it. Some people like to blush all the feet. You can do that if you want to. I like to put some under the little round bone on the cheville. Comment vous dites cheville? Ankle. The little bone on the ankle. The knee, about the same as for the elbow, just blush a bit all around. You do not want a very red knee, because it's a newborn baby, doesn't walk on his knee yet, so it's not irritated or something like that, so the color is not very different than the rest of the skin. And everywhere you see fat holes, places that can naturally be more irritated, the skin can be more irritated, you can do under and around the muscle of the leg. Sometimes I like to do a bit on the side of the thigh. Not always. Depend on the kit. Some of them are very, very well detailed. Some not. So that's it for the feet. That's for the blushing. Now we will do some of this color on the lip. If you have a pinkish color, that's good. If you have the red, more red, blood red, it's good too. It will give different result. You have already a lot of color on the lips because you paint all the kit the same, and you did a crease on the lips, so you already have color, so no need to add too much. People often ask how you do the lips. Well, I don't really do the lips per se. I just add little touch to finish, to give more dimension, a little bit more darker color. So I go all around with the red the same way I did with the crease. You can do some on the lip itself if you want as a base. You can already see the difference with the upper lip. I never put red on the little bump on the lips, the milk bump. I am not sure how to say it. It's the part when they suck their milk. This part is often dry and doesn't have a lot of color, so I try to let it a bit more white. Then this one has a open mouth, so I will go inside with my red and add red inside the mouth. It's not a fully open mouth, so I will not do a lot of detail inside. I just want to make it darker than the rest. Now I will wait until it dries a bit more before doing another layer. So I will go with this one instead. I will show you on this one. It's a closed mouth, so I do the same. I put color around, and with a dry brush, I push it toward the center. Do the same with the upper lip. Now I wait until it's dry. While I wait, I can add a little bit more blush on the cheek if I want. If you feel it's not red enough for you, you can add more. I like to do a bit more on the cheek than on other part, and I always do some dots like that and not push too hard on my sponge. As you can see, it gives kind of a rosy cheek with capillaries inside, a bit like the mottling. I like the natural result that it gives. Can do the same everywhere you think there's some red missing. The paint has dried since the first layer, so you can add some more. So now the red has dried a little bit on the lips. I can go ahead and add a little bit more red. I will add red only in the corner and the middle, and I will let the center space alone. I will try not to add more there. I want to add just a little bit in the corner. With my dry sponge, I just push it toward the inside. And I bring it to the middle. We'll do the same in the upper lip. Just add a tad bit in the corner. I will let alone the most most part of the lip. Take your time when doing that. Maybe I will add a bit of blushing in under. The lips are almost done. I'll do the same on this one. Not a lot of lip to work with. My red is a little bit too bright, but that's okay. I dislike doing thin lips. It's harder to get right. So, in the same time, since we are with the red, I like to do all I can do with the paint before changing color, because this way you don't have to store it and take it again, and don't have to rinse your paintbrush and anything like that, change sponge and all. Do all you can since you have the red ready. If you want to make some capillaries, it's not a necessity to get a really nice realistic kit, but you can, if you wish to, be very light with that. Very thin paintbrush, and you do very thin light line, like mostly like air, very thin squiggly line where you wish, and I go over with the side of the sponge and just press a little bit. Would give you something like that. Not sure if you can see. Try to focus. It's very, very light. Do the same on the other eyelid. Do line and just press with the sponge. So you can still see, focus, can still see the line, but it's not overdone. You can put some around the nostril if you wish. Like I said, it's not a necessity. You can put in the ear. You can have fun with it. I like to put some inside the ear. I saw someone doing that a few years ago, and I have adopted the technique because I like it. And you have to be very, very gentle with the paintbrush. Not a lot of paint on the paintbrush. I like to do some around the cheek also, just very, very light. And if you're not happy, you can totally erase them before they dry. It's very, very subtle. I'm not sure if you can even see them. I will not put on the other kit. Now the nails. And yes, I do the nails before even finishing the rest because I have my red ready and I want to use it. And I will try to show the nails, but it's hard to show close enough and to do at the same time. I will try my best. So just above where the white would be, I will put a very thin, very thin line. And with my dry brush, I will just go over gently, very gently. It's so thin, it's hard to see on the camera. It's not an obligation to do already. You can wait until the kit is finished also. I have a hard time to see what I am doing. Usually I do that very close to my eye. And you can also do a little bit of round like that and push it toward the center of the nail with the paintbrush. Now my paint is drying too fast. Try again. Just a little bit, like a semicircle, and brush it toward the center of the nail. It's about that. So that's what we do with the red. Now for the crease. I will try to recreate the same purple. I'm not sure which blue and red will be the best for that. Will try my best, try not to take too much time to do that. I think that's not bad at all. Maybe a little bit more red. So yeah, look something like that. Maybe a touch of brown. I want something very dark, and I never use black in reborning. It's not a good idea. I think that is similar, and I will add just a drop of water to avoid it drying. A drop of 2 of retarder. and I will try and we'll see if it's correct. Trying that, I will go maybe behind the ear. We'll move the zoom. Try behind the ears just to see if it's the color and the dilution I want. Look good. Doesn't dry too fast, so that's good. Sound good. So I added mostly blue, blue cobalt, a bit of red cadmium, and a touch of brown in my mix. I added a touch of water and retarder. We'll go inside the ear where it's more, when it's more, they're more depth. Crease are bigger. We'll see if the color is right for that. I think it's a bit too purple. Try to add a touch more blue in that mix to see. So I do the inside of the ear, the hole. And you do that the same way that you did your crease. You can totally use your crease color if you still have some left. Now I will put some on the eyelid like that, and with my sponge I will go over like I did for the blush. And I do the crease I like to do under the eyes in the corner, just a little bit. And around the nose. Important to do this step, especially if you have done your crease soon in the process at the beginning, because you will see that when you add more color and blushing, some crease will tend to disappear. Don't forget to go inside the nostril. I go a few times in the nostril I wait until the paint is dry, then go inside again. You can do some around the neck if the crease are very deep, very big. You can totally add a bit more crease color in those crease. Don't forget to blend very, very well. I will go inside the mouth. In this case, I have a tongue, so I will not put purple on the tongue. I will try not to. And I will just push it in the bottom. Now I will go over the mouth again with this color. Again on the corner of the mouth. So I let the middle, not the middle, but those bump, I try not to go over. We'll do the same in the top lip. Again in the corner. Don't be afraid to push the mouth open to go really inside the corner, because if you don't and you press the mouth or turn the kit over, you will see the white in the corner. So the mouth is done. That's okay to me. I will just add a little bit in the inside. Like you can see, it's a bit pale. We'll just go around this bump and the gum. So I think that's it for this lady. I think she's done. I may add a bit in the eyes, just a tad bit in the larger crease of the eye. Very gently, not a lot of paint, because I don't want to rub this one too much. I want to make it really darker. Like that, I think it's good. So I think she's done. She looks good. I'm happy with her. Now for the open eye. This one, when you have an open eye, you do not need to put purple on the eyelid. You can put some under if you wish to, like that. Just a little bit. No need to worry too much about that. Now the difference is that you have to paint the inside of the eyelid. Not all the hole, but the inside here, where the eye will sit. You can do it with the red from the blush if you want. You can totally fold press on the kit a bit to look the outside of the corner to see if all is paint. For the I have forgotten, but for the open eye you will need with your red paint to just do the little bump in the inside corner, just the little bump here. You need to paint that also. Instead of a sponge, I use a paintbrush to remove any excess. So this way, when you put the eyes, you will see the little gland that is the inside corner will look more realist. I have already done on this one. I have put more color between the fingers, around the fingers, the deep crease of the wrist. In the open end, sometime, especially if I have made the crease sooner in the process, I will redo a lot of them, but not all of them. Don't want to overdo crease. Also, just maybe the deepest one, or where you think when you add more washes, more color, crease tend to disappear a little bit. You can go ahead and go over last time. And it depends of your style of painting also. I like having more defined crease. Some people like them more soft looking. That's alright. Everyone has their own way to make them. It's up to you. I will go just over some deeper crease in the ends, the same with the feet. I like to put more on the wrist. I don't do all the little one, just the bigger crease. And between fingers, when they are stuck together like that, it's really important. Sometimes I go over them 2 times, even more, depending. Normally you will see them black, but it doesn't look good on a reborn. The black I have tried. You can try it if you wish to, but I don't really like adding black. You maybe add a little bit more brown in your mix. You can go over some crease on the arm. I did those on the arm, the deeper one. And for the feet, that's exactly the same. Go over between between the toes. That's my dog. Let's fit him. His nails are due to be cut. He doesn't like that at all. It's the same under the feet. I don't go everywhere unless the crease are very, very pale. And sometimes I go over the bigger one on the limbs. They really depend. This one look almost white, so I will go over. So that's it for the crease. And last thing with the purple for the nails, I like to do a little bit of purple just at the end of the nails and bring it toward the center. It will give a nice color to the nail bed. And then finally under the nail, I forgot this one. Under the nail, just like that. You notice I always blend with a brush. I don't let the paint dry like a straight line. My nails on this kit will not look so good. I can see. And last step, the nails themselves. You have several options to do the nails. A color I like to use is the Premix Baby Flesh from Reborning again. I like this color. I think it looks very natural. But you can use Titan Buff, this color. Not white, never white. It's not a manicure. You want it to stay very natural. So I put a little bit of paint, and you can use your matte medium. I very like to use this one, Liquitex, but any medium will do. I will use this one I have in my palette here. Try not to take the red with it. A lot of medium and just a tad bit of the paint in the medium. Very not a lot of paint. More, a lot more medium than the paint. So I got a lot of medium in there. I may add some more. Try not to get the red too much. And with that, with a very fine paintbrush, you can use a very fine liner like that. You can use I use sometimes a routing needle that that is broken. I use the tip of that. You can use that. You can use a toothpick. You can use a sewing needle. Something very thin. I like my brush. I almost use it exclusively. I don't use any more fine brush. And then you will go just on the tip of the nails over the red line. Sometimes you will notice that with the red lines that you did, it's already looking like a nail tip, like that. I didn't put any color, just with the color I used the purple and the red. Already have your nail tip. But if you wish, you can go over with this mix, and it will give you a nice natural tip. It will dry very translucent with the medium. Just like that, just a little tip. I tried to show you, it's so zoom in, it's difficult. Sometime you may want to add a little moon, but I don't do that. I usually don't do that. I find it's difficult to get the paint where you want, and it doesn't look natural, and often babies don't have. We'll do this one. I did all the nails but the tip and the red. I find the little moon not to be natural looking. This one I put too much. Just a little bit of paint on your brush. Just a tad bit. And don't paint too large. Try to stay on the very tip. Unless the nails on the sculpt are long. It's not often the case. If the nails is stop over the finger, that means the nails are short, so you don't need to add a lot of white there. And for the toes, that's the same. I use my other finish kit for that. Just a little bit, very little, because nails are usually very short on the feet. often I don't even bother to do them because they are so short. There's not much to add to them. And that's it for the tutorial. I don't think I missed something. The milk bomb, maybe some people have asked me before. I don't do them personally. I don't like the result. It's very hard to get a very natural looking result. If you want to do them, you can use the same mix that you use for your nails with a lot of medium, and you just poke some dot where you want them to be, just random, bigger, smaller dot. When they dry, often they dry a bit translucent because of the medium, but I don't like the result of that. I've seen maybe once or twice milk bomb that look like milk bomb. What other thing you can add? It's a little scratch with your red, bloody red. You can add a little scratch very gently, just a little bit of a line. Just like that, let it dry. If you want more dimension, you can use a little bit of brown around. But again, that's something that I don't usually do. Some people like the realism, but I have found out that it's not the case of everyone. Not everyone that like those type of things. It's something that you can't remove. Once it's done, it's done. So you can't remove scratch and something, milk bomb and all those little details. So don't overdo the details, especially if it's your first or even your third reborn. You don't have a lot of experience. Probably your finished reborn will not be perfect also. It's often the case. You are beginner, so that's normal. So when you add some details like that are not done perfectly, can be a bit disturbing for some people, so don't overdo details. So that's it for the tutorial. For the varnish, I will not really show you. It's very easy. It's the same thing when you do your washes, so there's nothing to show you really. Just the type of varnish will really depend where you are. Some people like this brand, this varnish in particular, Ultra Matte, and the Soft Touch varnish in the same brand. They are a bit hard to find. They do dry a bit shiny. It's not terrible, but they are a bit shiny. So pot is leaking. So you can add a little bit of cornstarch in it. It's what is the? I think it's a quarter teaspoon of cornstarch with 1 teaspoon of water. You mix that and you add it to 2 full tablespoon of varnish, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's that. You need to dilute the cornstarch in a bit of water before adding to the varnish. That will help a lot with the shine. Or you can buy, I think I will ask to be sponsored by Reborning one day. I use a lot of their products. Their air dry varnish ultra matte is very nice, really great. Hard to mix because it will separate. You can see the powder drop on the bottom. You have to mix it very well and often when you apply, but it gives a nice finish, very smooth. Not a lot of shine. It's very matte. It's hard to get more matte than that nowadays. So for the varnish you apply it. What I do is I go over the difficult place in the crease, the eyes, the mouth, the ears. I go with the paintbrush and then I go directly with varnish on my sponge over and I tap a lot. You can do 2-3 coats of varnish if you wish. You can also use a sealant before you apply the varnish. A sealer like this one. You can do that. And there's this one too. They are shiny. This one is shiny. The Reborning is not, but the other one is shiny. It adds protection to your paint, and then after, on top of that, you add the varnish. You need to varnish before adding the hair. Either you wish to root the head or just paint the hair over. You will need to varnish and varnish after you are done with the hair, the painted hair. And after that, just assemble your reborn. I have some videos about how to do that in my channel. You can look. And that's it. The tutorial is done. Finally. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me and my channel. Thank you for being patient with me with my crazy uploading schedule. I'm not the most steady with that. And I wish you again a very happy new year, good year, with success, joy, health, all the things everyone deserve. And that's it. See you next time. Goodbye.